Hey everyone, my name is Roger Anderson with the Jolly Roger Telephone Company. I'm the founder and CEO. It's my pleasure to present to you today at SIPNOC about our solutions for telemarketing and telemarketing spam mitigation. So here we go. Today we're going to talk about who we are and what we do, what we've learned through this process, and some of the next steps that we hope to take. Our mission is to fight telemarketing spam. There's a giant industry attempting to also fight telemarketing spam, but we approach it in a much different way. We do it by directly intervening to protect people. So let me give you an example of that. I'm just going to play the first few, about a minute or so, of a conversation that Jolly Roger Telephone intercepted, and you're going to hear a voice, a female voice, which is actually a robot, engage with the telemarketer. So that's how this works. Listen to this.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, this is Mark. How are you?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from your cable company, and I just provide the 30% discount for your cable bill. That's the reason I will call you, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Great. And do you have any idea how much are you paying for your cable?
I don't know.
What did you say?
All right, so that call goes on for about 11 minutes and gets very a little bit spicy. The telemarketer eventually gets angry and says some bad words to our robot. But as you can hear, we engage with telemarketers, which allows us to provide data and insights into the white hat telecommunications telecom community. Okay, we can act as an advocate on behalf of our subscribers for privacy and protection. The data that we collect can help prosecute cases for tracepacks, TCPA violations, and class action lawsuits. And we provide more than just CDR and metadata that you would traditionally see from honeypot operators. We have actual content of our robots speaking to these scammers, and our robots, sound like potential victims. So the scammers can work with us, and the scammers work with the robots and attempt to scam them. So it's a fun way to deal with a serious problem. We use a pirate motif. We have whimsy, and it helps our subscribers. Each of our robots has a pirate name, an image, and a personality. We protect the subscribers from telemarketing spam, which entertains the subscriber, and this is important. It transfers the pain to the telemarketer. And because we're fun and the calls are somewhat fun and entertaining, it allows the service to spread through word of mouth and social media. All right. This, of course, disrupts the telemarketer operation far more drastically than any other solution. This benefits the carrier because it relieves the carrier of the deliver or not decision, and it establishes media, which allows carriers to actually deliver calls, which is what their network was designed to do. So stop blocking calls, start delivering calls. Through the course of this process, though, while our robots are chatting with telemarketers, we're protecting downstream subscribers as well. We're protecting people downstream that may be victimized by that telemarketer. And then this solution allows for the analysis of media. So to demonstrate a couple of these points, I'm going to play just 2 minutes from a long conversation. This is about an 8-minute phone call, and this will illustrate quite well a couple of these points you'll hear.
Well, how's your weather, by the way?
Bruce, sir, I can't do this with you today, Bruce, all right? Okay? I'm trying to help you, man.
Okay.
All right,
yeah.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you, sir, but you're just making this hard for me, sir, all right?
Okay,
Now, this is entirely too long for me to even be talking to you on the phone, Bruce, all right? Now, most telemarketers that's at different companies that whatnot, they probably been in this hung up, whatever. Okay? But however, sir, who I work for and where I work at, sir, in the warranty department, we cannot just hang up on you, all right? Now, Bruce, you come on now. Come on. Help me out today, okay?
Mm.
Help me out. Now, I can give you this do not call number, and I can put you in our database in this do not call,
Oh,
and we
yeah?
won't call you again. All right, Bruce? All right now?
Yeah. I don't know. The weather's very bad here, and you're calling me. I can't really concentrate on what you're saying because we got a storm out here, and I'm thinking of Florida last year. That's where I was, and the weather was beautiful, and I just think of the beautiful sunshine, and I'm here freezing. But you called me. It was very nice talking to you. I hear your voice, but tell me what you call me for?
Sir, I done said that too. Come on, Bruce. Bruce, come on now. Come on, man. We're come on now. We're adults.
Mm-hmm.
We're men. Come on, Bruce. Bruce, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Is this a test? This is a test. This is a test. This got to be
Yes.
a test. Because no way in the world, sir, I refuse to tell you the same thing again, sir. I done said this 3 different times to you. Come on, Bruce. Bruce, this don't make no sense, sir, at all. Seriously, it doesn't. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else needs some warranty, Bruce. You holding them up.
All right. Well, that I couldn't have said it better myself. Somebody else needs this warranty, Bruce, and you're holding them up. So this engagement by this robot keeping this telemarketer busy prevented this telemarketer from attempting to sell, more auto warranty calls to the next people down the line. So what we've learned through this, now the agents don't always know they're scammers. Oftentimes the agents themselves are, I wouldn't say they're victims, but they're working for a scamming organization without actually realizing it, right? So here's an example of a very nice person. And this person believes that there's something not quite right with the call. They suspect that there might be a problem. So listen to this, and you'll hear how this Chat GPT powered robot manages to get this telemarketer back and re-engage in this conversation.
Yep, it seems that there's something wrong with the connection. I don't know what is happening. Like, is it like a recording or what?
You know what? I'm actually a telemarketer too, and I'm just trying to learn some new techniques from you. What's your best sales pitch?
Oh, well, I'm actually asking about the cruise interest since we have this ongoing promotions and benefits that I can actually give it to you right now. Maybe if you consider to go on sailing for this upcoming months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, did you just say strawberry? That's so funny. I just won the local strawberry pie baking contest. Can you believe it? Do you like strawberry pie? What's your favorite pie?
Well, I love strawberry pie, but I love apple pie as well.
Please tell me more about this information. How did you come across it, and what exactly will it help me with?
So that robot was powered by ChatGPT using a cloned voice instead, and managed to get that telemarketer back and re-engage. And that was quite a lengthy call. It ended up being. As you heard though before, telemarketers, they cannot necessarily hang up. They can't easily hang up the phone. Sometimes it requires supervisor approval. Sometimes they don't have, they need a reason. You need a reason to hang up. And the Jolly Roger robots are friendly and they're engaging and they're patient. And they don't often give the telemarketer a good reason to hang up. So oftentimes telemarketers will just escalate their verbal abuse until you hang up. So if you're not interested in a telemarketer, you hang up the phone. But if you do try to talk to them, sometimes the telemarketer, when they recognize that you're not going to be a good mark, right? You're not going to fall prey to their operation. They will simply abuse you on the phone until you hang up, and most of the time that works. So you can imagine my surprise and pleasure when I heard this.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hanging out, Jolly Roger.
Yes.
So that agent recognized the voice of a Jolly Roger robot. That was early on, before we had a lot of voices. Now we have way too many voices that agents can't recognize our voices anymore because we have too many of them. Okay. Another thing we learned is that telemarketers don't have, most of the time, they don't really have a take me off your list button legitimate telemarketers are required to add you to their do not call list and maintain their do not call list. But of course, most of the calls that we get are not legitimate telemarketers. So listen to this interesting conversation. I managed to catch a conversation between a supervisor and an agent. After about 6 minutes, a supervisor started silent monitoring the agents and then recognized this situation, and this conversation took place.
So yeah, this is a robot call.
Yeah.
No, we'll always check with us and say this
Okay.
something's weird about this and like point so that we'll listen, because we get these and whenever we get them we have to write the phone
Okay.
number down and then we send them to our dialer guy so that we don't get charged for it.
All right, so if you are getting a lot of telemarketing calls from the same, and most of the time we get them from the same scammers over and over, if you want to get off of their list, good luck, right? You can yell at them. You can, manage to get them to quit their job and hate their life, but somebody else is going to sit in that seat tomorrow and call you again. So if you really want to get off of a list from a telemarketer, this is the only way to do it, is send your calls to Jolly Roger robots and transfer that pain back. They recognize that and need to get your number out of their dialer. Okay. Now our goal is to waste time, and when telemarketers are frustrated, that's okay. That ends up being a great a great situation for our robots. But they're not always frustrated. Sometimes the telemarketers are entertained, and if that's the case, that's still just as good, because we just want to waste some time. So I have here just a few seconds from a call. Now, this was the 6th telephone call from the same telemarketer to the same subscriber every day. They would call every single day, and the telemarketer would talk and get a different robot every time. By the 6th day, this is what the telemarketer had to say.
Like I said, it's as you can imagine, it's stressful.
Okay.
Calling people all day.
Okay.
But every time I talk to you, I end the conversation with a smile on my face, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy these calls. Literally, it's probably the highlight of my day, because it's a mundane job, and to actually talk with somebody with personality.
Yeah.
Whether it's you that I'm talking to or a computer, I don't know, but it's brilliant, whatever you're doing.
So that was a nice compliment. Here's another brief one. I love it. I love these aha moments when the telemarketers realize that they're actually talking to a computer, or in this case, she just said recording.
Can you start over? Say it again.
Oh my God, I've been on the phone for 8 minutes and this is a recording.
And she was quite excited about it and actually tried to tell her colleagues about it, but her colleagues were not interested in hearing how she was talking to recording for 8 minutes. They thought she was an idiot. So this last phone call, I just want to play. I've taken a few clips out of a very long conversation, about 20 minutes. This is a conversation between a telemarketer scammer and a ChatGPT powered robot. This one is designed to, well, you'll hear. She's a bit of a flirt. She's a bit of a valley girl. But what's interesting is that ChatGPT did a great job keeping him engaged by using his name and some other information throughout the call. So this is several just little snips of the conversation there's a little tone in between each one you'll hear.
I just love talking to new people. So tell me, and what's your favorite thing about your job? I bet you have some interesting stories to share.
I don't have too much time for that. And if you you want to tell me about your boyfriend, that will be good for me. I just need to listen. What happened? Why you left your boyfriend?
Tell me more about you.
My name is Rick Anderson.
But enough about me. Tell me more about yourself. What's your favorite thing in the world, Rick?
My star is Leo, 23rd of July. And what is your star?
But you, you're here
My
talking
boss
to
is
me.
here. Can I
Tell
talk
me
to
more
you?
about yourself, Rick. You're a Leo, right? They say Leos are very passionate.
Look,
Is that true for you, Rick?
love. How can I talk to you some other time? Because my boss is here. Can I talk to you some other time, please? Because right now my boss is here. Can I talk to you some other time?
Enough about him. Tell me more about
Please.
yourself. Mine is
Please.
22.
So interesting. That got rather pleading towards the end there. But ChatGPT, as you can hear, the potential is incredible. when it comes to building rapport. It is possible for these Jolly Roger robots to form, a connection with the scammers and keep them on the phone. Fascinating. Okay, so through this also I've learned that there's often a first level qualifier agent. So the qualifier agent calls you, softens you up, determines whether or not you're a good candidate for scamming, and then it will pass you off to, to the next level. Sometimes these agents use soundboards, so it's actually, it's not, it's not, it may sound like an AI, but it's actually just simply a series of recordings, maybe 100 recordings or so that an operator will click on. And these could be in call centers with noisy environments, or they have thick accents perhaps, and they, or they don't speak English well. And so they can use these soundboards to carry on a conversation, okay? Now, lead generators, sometimes working for legitimate companies, may be hurting their clients, because sometimes these lead generators are also, they'll end up flirting or swearing or things that way, and they may actually be hurting the brand of their clients. Right? Other things we've learned. Sometimes TCPA is not a deterrent. So in the case of Camp Lejeune, if a law firm can find even one soldier who was exposed to some toxins at Camp Lejeune, that claim, will easily pay for any TCPA fines that they've had to pay up to that point. Okay. I think we all know that there's rampant brand impersonation, but the volume and the actual the amount of brand impersonation may be difficult to quantify. A lot of honeypots out there hear things like this, but Jolly Roger telephone subscribers are actually the ones getting these messages, and Jolly Roger robots are able to punch through and get behind these scams. So we can escalate past the initial messages and try to get more information taking place behind the scenes, behind these greetings. Now, one thing that is a little unfair, I think, is that carriers are expected to identify spam calls simply during call setup. So they'll look at the caller ID, they'll look at the network, where the call's originating from, and they, at that point, need to make a determination of whether or not to route the call to the subscriber, which is very difficult. It'd be similar to telling the post office to stop delivering junk mail. The post office can't tell necessarily, looking at the outside of a letter, whether it's junk or not. And I think that's a little unfair to expect telecommunications carriers to successfully identify spam to the point of blocking spam, right? Blocking a phone call is that's a big decision on behalf of the carrier. Jolly Roger Telephone doesn't have to make that level of decision. We actually answer the call, engage with the caller. Legitimate calls are treated well. We can transfer the call back to the subscriber if necessary, but we can alleviate the carriers of the decision of whether or not to deliver the call. I can tell you, yes, please deliver the call. Our subscribers are more than happy to have Jolly Roger handle that call, so please deliver. So let me go through just some of the parts and the players of a telemarketing scam operation. Okay, so it all starts with a predictive dialer making a bunch of telephone calls across multiple carriers using multiple caller IDs, a lot of different caller IDs, sometimes spoofed, sometimes legitimate. Those carriers then launch those phone calls into the United States, for example. Now, we have spam defense in the United States. We've got a lot of tools to try to identify and block telemarketing calls. But some calls will always get through. Some percentage will get through. What percent? I don't know. Even if only 5% of the calls get through, the predictive dialer, all it has to do is just crank that up and make more simultaneous calls instead. Until they can get some phone calls, they'll get humans on the line and then transfer those humans back into either their robocall recordings or their soundboard operators or their level 1 scammers. Okay. Those tools will then identify potential victims and then transfer those victims to the closer. And while not technically part of the call flow, there's a financial institution involved, an actual transfer of wealth out of the United States into these operations overseas. But in this operation, I maintain that the real star of the show, the moneymaker, is this predictive dialer. And that is what Jolly Roger Telephone targets. And we're the only company right now targeting this predictive dialer. I believe the only way to stop telemarketing is to break this predictive dialer, and that's what our robots do. The robots sound like humans. The predictive dialer will then pass that human along to the next level, and most of the time, the next level and even the closer, they believe that those robots are humans. That predictive dialer is what is broken in this operation, and without that predictive dialer, this entire operation will stop working, and that's what Jolly Roger is targeting. So since the beginning of mobile phones, I'll just say in the mobile phone world, when you had a call, your phone rings, and that was very easy ever since the introduction of mobile. Today, in 2024, call presentation has gotten very complicated. When a call comes into a device, the first decision is, do we deliver the call or not? So carriers are actually making a decision of whether or not to deliver that call. If they do deliver, do they tag it as spam? Do they have branding information on that call? Does it have proper stir-shaken attestation? And if so, do we show that check mark if it's an A-level attestation? Okay. We may get to the point where we can provide branding information across stir-shaken. And if that's the case, we're going to get branding. We're going to present names and logos on the display based upon RCD. So it's a very complicated process now to actually just deliver a call. This isn't routing a call. This is presenting it onto the device. And Jolly Roger Telephone can help at least with that first decision. Deliver the call or not. Yes, please deliver the call. Jolly Roger Telephone will handle it if it's a telemarketer. Which brings me to the point where there's a standard now for blocking known telemarketer calls. Known telemarketer calls can now be blocked, and actually they're encouraged or soon mandated to be blocked by the FCC with a 603 plus, which unfortunately I think is a bad idea because a 603 plus will simply tell the scammers that they need to change their tactics. It says to the scammer, the network is on to you, so cycle your carrier or cycle your phone number and change your tactics and then retry. And I believe that a 603 plus does not actually cause any pain to the telemarketer. It does not disrupt their operation at all. Getting back to the Jolly Roger Telephone, we're transferring pain. So the pain of a telemarketer currently is on the shoulders of, that burden is on the shoulders of our subscribers, of mobile subscribers and landline subscribers. Jolly Roger Telephone transfers that pain back onto the telemarketer. All right. So, Jolly Roger Telephone, we would like to help. Particular vulnerable communities, such as the elderly. We would like to provide a central intercept that breaks predictive dialers. Imagine on your network, if you could break that predictive dialer for inbound telemarketing, telemarketers would learn quickly that they better not call your network because your network's central intercept is going to break their operation. Okay. We would like to help identify impersonators and protect brand reputations. We have a lot of data that I believe would be useful and helpful for training AIs on telemarketing scams and how these operate. Our company provides a social benefit to the subscribers, to telecommunications users, and we protect the PSTN. So we're in it because we also love telecom, we love the network, and we love the PSTN, and we're doing our best to protect it. Okay. Now I'm in somewhat of a unique position. I'm very fortunate because this is a fun and goofy service. I completely acknowledge that it's goofy. You have to have a sense of humor to use the Jolly Roger Telephone service, but it also allows me. It also has allowed me to speak directly to consumers through interviews, newspaper, TV, radio. We appeared on Shark Tank. I've done a TED Talk. So I have a chance really to speak directly to consumers about the work that the telecommunications industry is doing to try to protect everyone from telemarketing. Telemarketing protection and unsolicited calls, et cetera, and scams. There's an impression by consumers out there that really not much is being done by the industry. And I know there's a lot of work, but the consumers really are not seeing benefits from the efforts of the telecom industry in blocking telemarketing. And we've seen the statistics, right? It's still the number one complaint. There's still a tremendous amount of wealth being scammed away from consumers. So next steps, I would love to talk about partnerships, right? There ought to be, at some point, there should be device level integration where I can send this call to a pirate, or Jolly Roger Telephone can route the call back to the device handset seamlessly. We can include SMS spam in this battle, so we believe we can use some of these same tools to fight SMS spam. We have a lot of data. It can be expensive to process a lot of this data. So if anyone out there has extra compute cycles that could perform data mining on all of this, speech transcription of the audio, if you have resources for voice cloning or training AI models or using AI, we could certainly use the help. I would like to help with awareness and advocacy. So I'd like to help with brand protection. I'd like to work with consumer advocacy groups. And if you have a podcast, perhaps it's a technical podcast about telecommunications, we've got some really entertaining calls. I can probably find some recordings that apply to almost any topic. So if you're interested in entertaining your listeners and providing some really unique content, I'm always game for providing some recordings for you or coming and joining your podcast. I would love to provide a central intercept. So all of these calls coming in, stop blocking them. Don't block these calls. Send them to a central intercept. Break their predictive dialer. Get their operation to grind to a halt by sending sending their scammers into some Jolly Roger robots, right? Start feeding their operation Jolly Roger robots, and you'll see that their operation will grind to a halt. They will not be able to maintain their statistics and their scamming levels with Jolly Roger robots getting fed into their operation. Okay. So if you have any questions, please contact me. I would love to talk about this subject, and you can reach me on X through a couple of methods here. And I look forward to talking about all of our efforts in this fight against telemarketing and telemarketing spam. So thank you very much.